Every day, I clung to Austin Badgley, our Oscar-winning national treasure, whining and calling him hubby, while trying every trick to sneak under his covers and beg for a kiss. I threw myself at him again and again, until my legs trembled with the effort. Then one day, my memories came back. Turns out, I'd been in a car accident and scrambled my brain. I thought Austin Badgley was the domineering top from a novel I wrote, and I, obviously, was the tragic bottom. Austin wasn't just my sworn nemesis in real life. He was also my brother. I tried to run, but he pinned me down in front of millions of viewers in a livestream. He lifted the hem of my shirt, grabbed my waist, and leaned in with a low, dangerous purr. Wifey ditching me already? Not gonna love me anymore, brother? Welcome to He History channel. Subscribe to follow all our latest adventures. Story begins. I ripped the 4 out of my hand. The monitor shrieked. Nurses screamed down the hallway. Bed 32, Ion Cruz ran off. He just woke up and started yelling about finding his husband. You mean that pop idol? Go stop him. His manager paid extra, said don't let him go crazy. TSK. How's looking for my own husband considered crazy? You wouldn't understand if you've never had one. I made it out of the hospital only to realize I had no car keys. The rideshare app said I was number 100 in line. So I did the obvious. I ran straight home. Problem was, when I got to our door, the passcode wouldn't work. I typed it again. And again. Locked out. He was really mad this time. Didn't come to the hospital. Wouldn't even let me in the house. But no matter, I'd win my husband back myself. I pulled out my phone and saw the pinned contact. SB. S for super, B for babe. See? I knew we were in love. That's what I saved his name as, Super Babe. It rang for ages before someone finally picked up. I made my voice as pitiful as possible. Babe, I'm at our front door, but it won't open. I'm hungry, tired. I got hit by a car and it hurts. I need kisses to make it better. Babe, please? He hung up. What I didn't know was, Austin Badgley was filming a variety show. The entire phone call was broadcasted live. He stared at his phone with the face of someone about to crush it. None of the celebrity guests beside him dared make a sound. But every single one of them craned their necks to sneak a peek. Because that voice, calling Mr. Badgley husband, was unmistakably the top idol Ion Cruz. Everyone knew who Ion Cruz was. That voice had swept every major music award that year. His songs were on every grandma's playlist. Just like how everyone knew Ion Cruz and Austin Badgley were arch-enemies. And yet, husband? So were they secretly together? The guests all looked at the host, silently begging him to ask. The poor newbie host, fresh out of college, hadn't caught the name, but definitely caught the fact it was a guy. Austin Badgley had never had a single scandal. Was this it? The host lunged forward with the mic. Mr. Badgley. That voice just now, was that a man? Are you two together? Is that why you've been single this whole time? Was it a secret? Is he someone in the industry? What does he look like? How tall is he? Are you? The questions flew like bullets. The guests gawked in admiration. This rookie had guts. But just as the audience waited for Austin Badgley to answer, his eyes turned to ice. He stood and walked off set. Right outside the studio, his manager Jerry Butler was pacing like a madman. Austin, what happened? You're trending everywhere. I thought you hated Ion Cruz, so why is he calling you husband on livestream? Don't tell me there's something going on. Austin gritted his teeth. Ion Cruz. Insane. Yeah, he's nuts all right. He's crying outside your house right now. You want me to get security to drag him off? Jerry shoved his phone toward Austin. On the screen, live footage from Austin's doorbell cam. There was Ion, curled up by the front door, arms hugging his knees, crying. Those famous peach blossom eyes were red and swollen. The bastard had somehow become even prettier. Austin hissed, "He's crying in front of my house like it's a funeral. Is this his new tactic? To drive me insane?" Austin, where are you going? We're still filming. You'll have to pay the breach penalty if you walk out. I crouched at the doorstep, counting the leaves on the rosebush. At leaf number 438, his Maybach finally rolled up. The moment the door opened, I pounced. I threw myself into his arms and held tight. Babe, you took so long. You don't love me anymore, huh? It's okay, I love you so much. Austin Badgley froze. His face looked like he'd seen a ghost. He tried to push me off. I locked my legs around his waist and clung to his neck. He was mad. But that was fine. I'd coax him. If I coaxed him well enough, he'd kiss me again. Lightning flashed across the lens of his silver-framed glasses. In the reflection of his eyes, I saw myself. A bandage stained with blood wrapped around my forehead, a hospital wristband still dangling from my arm. Let go or I'm calling the cops. Boo! You really don't love me anymore. His Adam's apple bobbed. He looked like he was struggling to hold something back. But in the end he pushed me off. I hit the wet ground hard. Mud soaked into my clothes. He stepped over my fingers with his Italian leather shoes, voice sharp as ice. Crazy trespasser. That really hurt. I scrambled after him, but his legs were long and fast. Still I was faster. I darted in through the door just as it slammed shut. I curled up on the marble floor of the entryway and watched him call 911. Babe, why are you angry? Why won't you talk to me? The engagement ring you gave me. I didn't throw it away. I swallowed it. I pulled my hospital gown aside and showed him the bruised area over my ribs. When the doctors took it out, they said it nearly cut an artery. I almost died, babe. I almost couldn't see you again. I tilted my head to a 40-degree angle, just right for the lighting to catch the shimmer of tears in my eyes. So he would pity me. So he would hug me. So he would love me. I saw his thumb tighten over the call button. Then, slowly he walked over and crouched in front of me. See? I knew he loved me. His scent surrounded me, cedarwood and tequila. That was the scent he left on me when he marked me. Austin, I whispered. He took off his glasses and wiped them with his tie. The motion made the little tear-shaped mole at the corner of his eye flush red. So pretty I couldn't help myself. My fingers twitched, reaching out to touch it. Are you out of your damn mind? I took the opportunity to slip into his arms and bit him through his shirt, right over his heart. Baby, I am sick. Lovesick. Just hold me and I'll get better. As I spoke, I deliberately brushed his burning gland at the nape of his neck. Why are you taking suppressants during your heat? I'm right here. Babe, do you hate me now? Didn't you say we could do anything at home? So do it with me. He suddenly grabbed the back of my neck and slammed me toward the smart lock. The iris scanner's cold blue light burned through my swollen eyelids. Look closely. Does this look like your home? Want to throw a fit? Don't do it at my place. The mechanical voice delivered its verdict gently. Authentication failed. Unauthorized entry. What? My mind reeled. If this wasn't my house, then whose was it? Did my husband cheat and move in with someone else? No, that didn't make sense. No one else was here. Just the two of us. But I couldn't make sense of anything anymore. My head throbbed, so I let myself pass out. Right into my husband's arms. Right before losing consciousness, I think I heard him mutter, Ion Cruz, don't regret this. You walked into hell on your own. Austin Badgley stared at the collapsed figure on the floor, then made a call. His private physician arrived shortly after. After a full exam, the doctor said solemnly, Mr. Badgley, Mr. Cruz is suffering from memory loss and delusions brought on by brain trauma from the accident. Can it be cured? Not at the moment. It'll have to resolve on its own, or with another hit to the head. Though another impact might fix it, or it might just kill him outright. The wine glass in Austin's hand shattered. He waved the doctor away in a burst of annoyance. Beside him, Jerry Butler looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. What now? The whole internet's blowing up. Paparazzi caught Ion Cruz entering your home. My phone's literally melting with messages. Everyone wants to know if you two are dating. Your public image is cold, distant, untouchable. Now this? A romance scandal with Ion Cruz, your mortal enemy, and a guy? I can't even begin to predict the fallout. Should we, I don't know, tie him up and get surgery done? Turn him into a woman or something? You're still filming that dating show. People online are already calling you a scumbag, accusing you of faking bachelorhood for money. Austin cut him off mid-rant. Shut up. You're on a 1-month leave. Don't show up again until it's over. Ignore the online stuff. It's not like they were insulting Ion Cruz. That idiot wouldn't throw a fit. But why the hell was he even thinking about Ion Cruz? Austin's eyes darkened. He grabbed a napkin and roughly wiped the wine from his hand, blood from the shattered glass mixing into the stain. Jerry stared at him in disbelief. 1 month leave? Was he hallucinating? This was Austin Badgley, the legendary workaholic of the entertainment industry, someone who didn't take a single day off in 365. And now he's taking a month? Sure, Jerry wanted a vacation too. Just not in the middle of a career crisis. Come on, Austin. You're rich, but this is insane. If you walk out mid-recording, the breach penalty is going to be astronomical. I have money. Ding. Austin's phone lit up. A message from someone who hadn't contacted him in a long, long time. His gaze turned sharp. He opened it. Your little brother got into a car accident. He'll be staying at your place for a while. Take care of him. You're both adults now, don't fight. Austin threw the phone against the wall. Disappeared for 2 years and still knew everything going on in the country? So why didn't they know that Ion Cruz was calling him husband and crawling into his bed in the dead of night? Jerry opened his mouth to speak but was promptly kicked out of the house. On the 3rd day of being locked in the guest room, I finally picked the lock open. The filthy hospital gown I'd worn had been replaced, by someone, with clean white silk pajamas. They smelled faintly of cedar. My husband's scent. See? My husband spoils me. He even gave me his pajamas. We don't draw lines. We're one and the same. Suddenly, my phone buzzed with a custom alert. Austin Badgley is now live streaming. I even set a special notification for him. You dare say he's not my husband? I padded barefoot across the cold floor, following the sound from the master bedroom. He hadn't let me in for 3 days. 3 days without cuddles. 3 days without kisses. Time to break the Cold War. Baby, please don't be mad anymore. I pushed the door open. The live chat exploded. Is that Ion Cruz's debut crystal globe on the bookshelf? Look behind it. Is that Ion Cruz? Austin turned just in time to see me clutching his shirt from last night and inhaling deeply. The bloodied bandages slipped down from the silk sleeves, revealing bruises on my wrist, dark imprints from where he'd tied me with his tie. My natural peach blossom eyes were flushed red. I looked up at him with tearful longing and reached for his hand. Babe, I'm so hungry. Let's cook something together, yeah? The chat lit up like fireworks. Why is Ion Cruz in Austin's house? Weren't they enemies? Did he just call Austin husband? He definitely did. And those pajamas, are they Austin's? So the trending rumors were real? Enemies to lovers? Babe. I snuck up behind him and wrapped my arms around his neck, voice sticky sweet. Babe, I need you, your scent. The live stream lagged for a second, right as I licked his earlobe. In the final frame before the camera toppled, Austin's hand, veins bulging, was seen gripping my throat. My eyes were glazed, my body limp. Austin Badgley exposed as liar, dating while on reality show. Scumbag Austin, get out of the industry. It went nuclear. The entire internet crashed. Coders across the country were working overtime, cursing Austin Badgley and Ion Cruz and their disaster of a relationship. And those weren't even the only tags that went viral. Austin Badgley and Ion Cruz, enemies in public, tongue-tied in private. Austin and Ion are gay, and apparently a couple. Austin Badgley and Ion Cruz are totally dating. One after another, the trending tags filled the front page, all stamped with both our names, lined up like soldiers in formation. I knew none of it. My brain was still scrambled. Right now, I was too busy scarfing down the carbonara pasta Austin Badgley made for me. Pasta made by my husband? Divine. He sat across from me, silently watching me eat. My husband was perfection incarnate. His face looked hand-chiseled by a Greek god. Sharp jawline. High cheekbones. eyebrows like blade strokes over deep, penetrating eyes that seemed to see through everything. But at the moment, those brows were slightly furrowed, just enough to hint he was fighting something internal. Some unpleasantness. He wore a deep wine-red shirt, the top few buttons undone. If I craned my neck just a little, I could see the lines of his chest, strong, toned, impossible to ignore. Even his sleeves were rolled up, showing off those muscular forearms, lean and sculpted, the result of years of discipline and training. I stared, utterly entranced. So when he finally spoke, voice edged with restrained fury, it took me a second to realize he was talking to me. Ion Cruz, do you even know what the hell you're doing?
Yeah.
I'm eating the pasta my hubby made for me. Don't call me your husband. Austin's eyes darkened, shadows flickering just beneath the surface. His hands clenched into fists. He looked like he wanted to punch me through the table. Damn it, of all the things I forgot, why the hell did I only remember him? And worse, why did I think he was my husband? Austin pressed his lips into a thin line, frustration building. Okay, don't be mad, babe. I told you I ate the ring. Let's just go buy another one, yeah? I pouted and slid around the table to his side. He didn't stop me. So I got bolder, and sat directly in his lap, wrapping my arms around his neck. Babe. Austin trembled violently. His voice cracked. Stop calling me that, and get off me. Don't sit on my lap. But he was blushing. That meant I needed to be bolder. I yanked open the front of my silky white pajamas, adjusted my legs, and wrapped them around his waist. Don't be shy, hubby. We're an old married couple. What's there to be embarrassed about? I'm full now, so how about I feed you next? My hands slipped beneath his shirt, fingertips skating across his abs. God, the texture. This, Hennigan. Ion. Austin's voice was low, rough, his breathing unsteady. Do you think I'm made of stone or something? Get off. But when he looked down, he saw the curve of my collarbone, the pale skin beneath it, and... Shit. Why couldn't I have forgotten everything, including this idiot? When my manager, Kelvin Cross, burst into the villa, I was still clinging to Austin like a human koala. Kelvin stormed over and tried to peel me off. Ion. Austin's legal team is threatening a sexual harassment suit. You need to... Who the hell are you? And why are scammers breaking into my house now? I didn't hesitate. Grabbed the nearest glass vase and smashed it over his head. Then coolly dialed 911. Hello, officer? There's an intruder in my home. Possible scammer. In my head? Kelvin clutched his skull, groaning in pain. When yelling at me clearly didn't work, he turned to Austin instead. Mr. Badgley, doesn't your private doctor rank top in the country? He still hasn't fixed Ion's head. I swear, I'm losing my mind here. He was practically falling apart. His phone buzzed nonstop. Termination requests, compensation demands, even potential lawsuits. But Ion Cruz had completely lost his mind. Well now, kill him? Maybe that'd be easier. This job was hell. There's no fixing him, Austin snapped. Get him out of here, or I'll be the one calling the cops next. The moment I heard Austin say he didn't want me, I burst into tears. I threw myself into his arms, buried my face in his shoulder, and sobbed like I'd just been told I had hours to live. Boo, don't listen to that liar, babe. Please don't throw me away. I'm sweet, I listen, I behave. If you don't want me, I'll die, I swear. I'll just go die. Maybe he really thought I'd cry myself to death, because in the end he didn't kick me out. I knew it. Deep down he cared. Still, he wouldn't let me into the master bedroom. I stood in front of the mirror, sizing myself up. 6 feet tall, long legs, broad shoulders, slim waist, flawless porcelain skin. Masculine, yet refined. And this face? I might not be a girl killer, but I definitely kill guys. So why wouldn't my husband touch me? Us. Quickly, I grabbed my phone and placed a rush order, seductive wear, all kinds. Pearl chest chains. Maid outfits. Pink frilly skirts. Lacy black thigh highs. Let's see him resist this. It was midnight. Once I was sure Austin had fallen asleep, I crawled into his bed wearing nothing but a jingling pearl chain. The second I slid under the covers, he woke up. I uncruise. Get out. His voice was low and cold. He sounded pissed. Did I care? Nope. I hugged him close, pressing against him. I smell nice, babe. I'm all clean. Let's cuddle, okay? You'll regret this, he warned. I won't. You can do whatever you want to me. As I spoke, my fingers traced his chest, lower, until his hand caught mine mid-movement. Then, in one swift move, he pinned me down. Wow, babe. That's it. That's the stuff. Break me, daddy. Austin froze, stiff as a board. I wrapped my arms around his waist and released my scent. Then came the moans. Babe. I took the pills. So many packets. Please save me. Austin cursed under his breath. God damn it. I sat up and bit down on his Adam's apple the moment it bobbed in his throat. His skin was so cool against mine. So comfortable. When I woke the next morning, I saw exactly what I'd hoped for, marks all over me. Perfect. Clearly, my husband still had it. And so did I. Good job. No shame in enjoying your own husband. Which meant, I was climbing into his bed every night from now on. I whipped out my phone and bought a whole new round of clothes and meds. I didn't care. I'd overdose on heat suppressants if I had to. He'd have to save me. He had to. But then, exactly 1 month into sneaking into Austin Badgley's bed, something happened. That night we got too into it. So into it that my head slammed into the hardwood headboard with a thunk that sent stars exploding behind my eyes. Then back up. When I woke up in the hospital, everything came rushing back. The accident. The amnesia. The endless husband nonsense. Everything I'd done to Austin Badgley in bed. Oh my God. Someone, please strike me dead with lightning. I scrambled to call the manager I'd blocked, Kelvin Cross, and begged him to come get me. Kelvin arrived with panda eyes and a grudge, and behind him, unfortunately, was Austin Badgley himself. He strolled over, smirking like the devil. Running already, sweetheart? Planning to ditch your husband? I backed up so fast I slammed into the wrought iron bed frame. It hurt. Listen, if I said this was all a huge misunderstanding. Mr. Badgley, surely you'd understand. Let bygones be bygones, right? You wouldn't hold a grudge against someone whose brain was broken, would you? Austin smiled. No, sweetheart. I mean brother. Brother, I was wrong. I really was brain damaged. Oh, not calling me husband anymore? Or Mr. Badgley? This brother, now, huh? Shit. What had I done? I slept with my brother. I was screwed. Completely, utterly screwed. What now? I grabbed a fruit knife from the bedside table and pressed it to my own neck. Don't come closer. One step and I'll stab myself. I yelled it with all the bravado I had, but honestly, my hand was shaking. I didn't actually want to stab myself. Austin's lips curled. His voice was uncharacteristically soft. I'm leaving. 2 words. Then he turned and walked out of the hospital room. The moment I saw his figure disappear, I dropped the knife like it was on fire. Kelvin rushed up to me, eyes red. Ion, you're finally sane again. You have no idea what I've been through. I shook out my wrist. Oh, you're 6 feet tall. Stop crying. About last time, my head injury. Sorry. I'll give you $1 million to make up for it. Go buy something nice. At that, Kelvin's whole expression crumpled like a popped balloon. Bro, forget $1 million, you couldn't cough up $10 right now. What? You blew through everything while you were amnesiac. You pissed off every brand, every fan, every investor. Now you're blacklisted. You owe the agency $100 million. And that's when I remembered all the stuff I'd done. Calling Austin husband. Crawling into his bed. What we did in that bed. I wanted to die. Bro, what are we gonna do? You're a disgraced celeb now. No one'll hire you. Even if you go work in a factory, you couldn't make that kind of money in 10 lifetimes. Maybe you could use your looks. Seduce Mr. Badgley. Get him to pay it off. I wanted to cry too. I tried everything. Even the gigs I used to turn down, I was now begging to accept. But no one would touch me. Honestly, I couldn't blame them. At this point, I was starting to wonder if Austin Badgley had cursed me. Why else would I lose my mind and fixate on him? He wasn't the only man in the world. And besides, I'm straight. Right? A straight man wouldn't do what I did. And now I owed 100 million? Kelvin really was a good guy. He gave up his savings, the money he'd set aside to get married. Used it to help pay down my debt. But it wasn't nearly enough. Not even close. I dug out a few business cards from my trash bin, the ones I'd once proudly thrown away. I was out of options. Kelvin glanced at the cards and muttered, "Ian, are you really going to dinner with these sugar mommies? They're not just here for food." I chugged half a bottle of mineral water in one go. "Got a better idea? Should we starve together?" Kelvin stammered, "If it's really come to this, maybe try Mr. Badgley? He's got money. And after what happened between you two, I doubt he'd mind helping you out." But I couldn't do it. I didn't go to the sugar mommies. I didn't go crawling back to Austin Badgley. Instead, I took a job singing at a bar. The bar owner tossed me a mask. "Wear it. That face of yours? One sight and I'll lose business. Oh, and Ian, word is you're down for anything now, right? So if you come up to my room after your set each night, I'll pay you extra." Laughter erupted from the staff. Someone sprayed beer on me. Slurs, taunts, jeers, I heard it all. I didn't even know how I ended up like this. Once upon a time, my entrance brought screams of love. It was still screams, but they were screaming for me to die. I always knew the industry was brutal. One wrong step and it's a lifelong fall. But I never thought Austin Badgley would be the one to kick me off the cliff. I saw the rumors online, saying he orchestrated my downfall. That the 100 million debt? That was his doing. He wanted revenge. He wanted me to suffer. He wanted me ruined. Did he hate me that much? Then why didn't he push me away back then? My brain was injured. His wasn't. He was taller, stronger. If anyone was in control, it was him. And the way he looked in bed, he wanted it too. But now he's zipped up, walked away, and pretended none of it happened. He really was a bastard. I had this burning urge to storm up to Austin Badgley and punch him right in the face. I was about to turn and leave when I got a call. Kelvin Cross had been in a car accident. Hospitalized. Needed proper food and rest. So, I swallowed the disgust in my throat and sang through another night at the bar. The next day, when I brought soup to the hospital, Kelvin looked so happy he nearly forgot about his broken leg. He bounced, on one foot, and handed me a script. A script? For me? I was just a washed-up singer. Guess being good-looking really does open doors. But the moment I opened it and actually read it, I wanted to burn it. Kelvin grabbed my wrist just as I flicked the lighter. "Bro, this role pays 100 million. You really gonna burn 100 million? My hand froze. 100 million? What kind of brain-dead director would pay me that much right now? Even when I was at my peak, I wasn't worth half that. But 100 million? Only catch? It was a dual male lead romance. And I was straight. "Bro," Kelvin said, deadly serious, "half the industry's doing worse. Going adult, live cam, whatever. It's just a job. You take this and we can eat again. Look at where we are, getting this offer is a miracle." Yeah, you've got a point. So I signed the contract. Only to walk into the script reading and see Austin Badgley. And find out there were now 100 sex scenes in the new script. And my co-star? Austin. Freaking Badgley. What the hell? He didn't go bankrupt. Why was he doing this movie? If he was my scene partner, then those 100 bed scenes. I remembered my script had none of that in it. Kelvin told me it was a sweet, slow burn romance. I cornered the director. Demanded to know what was going on. The investors felt this version would go viral. And you, Mr. Cruz, in your current state, aren't really in a place to make demands. I was speechless. "Look," the director said. "Given your careers in the gutter, this is divine intervention. You think anyone else would cast you right now? You should be grateful the investors specifically asked for you. It's a dual lead. You and Mr. Badgley should spend some time bonding. We'll give you two some privacy." With that, the The entire production team left, leaving me and Austin alone in the top-floor conference suite. I started inching along the wall toward the exit. But Austin moved faster, slammed the door shut and stood in front of it like a 6 feet 3 inches brick wall. "Bro," I said nervously. "I explained everything already. I had a brain injury. I thought you were my husband. Just take it as a joke, alright? Let it go." I smiled awkwardly. No shame in survival. Austin just scoffed and grabbed my wrists, slamming them over my head. "I'd never even dated before you jumped me. Not once. And it wasn't just once, it was multiple times, multiple nights. Now you're saying it was a joke? You played me?" "No. I didn't mean, Austin, you're my brother. We can't, this isn't okay." "Brother? So what?" "We're not blood related. I told your mom. She's fine with it. She's on her way here. The day she arrives? That's our wedding day." "My mom? Wait, when did she become this open-minded? Wedding? We're both men. What kind of wedding is this?" I opened my mouth to protest, but he kissed me. Like the tide had broken loose. I couldn't breathe. My legs gave out. My mind spun. And worst of all, I didn't hate it. He moved like he knew exactly what he was doing, pausing only to murmur in my ear, "Breathe." When Kelvin burst into the room, all he saw was me, crumpled in Austin's arms like I had no backbone left. I weakly raised a hand toward Kelvin, hoping, begging, he'd see I needed saving. But Jerry Butler pulled him out by the collar, hand over his eyes. "Keep going, gentlemen," Jerry said as he closed the door behind him. We saw nothing. I wanted to die. Of course the truth couldn't stay hidden. Photos of me and Austin making out on set hit trending faster than lightning. Then someone exposed our shared parentage. Brothers. Even with all his awards, Austin Badgley couldn't escape the fallout. The internet turned on him overnight. Immoral. Disgraceful. Unfit to be an idol. Demands for cancellation flooded the net. His endorsements vanished. His movies were pulled. He had to sell his house, his car. And even that wasn't enough, he was deeper in debt than I ever was. Worse than my blacklisting. Someone even leaked a handwritten love letter from Austin's high school days. To a guy. Actually, to multiple guys. Suddenly, Scumbag became his brand name. Kelvin asked me, "Do you want to help him?" What could I do? Join him in a public breakdown. Besides, shouldn't I be happy? Austin finally fell off his high horse. "Bro," Kelvin looked like he was holding something in. I threw a stuffed bear at him. "Spit it out." He sighed. "Jerry says Mr. Badgley's been drinking every night. Crying himself to sleep. The guy's broken. I mean, yeah, you lost your memory, but you two were kinda like husbands for a while, right? You're really not gonna help." "How? I'm still drowning in debt. You want me to cry with him? He's the reason I owe $100 million in the first place. The fact I'm not gloating is already me being nice." But after Kelvin left, I made a call. I asked someone I didn't want to owe, to help. That person had the money. A fraction of their wealth could erase Austin's crisis. When I couldn't afford food, I hadn't called them. But now, if Austin really crashed and burned, I'd lose my best rival. That's all it was. I was not worried about Austin Badgley. I found Austin Badgley passed out on my doorstep. Austin Badgley said he had nothing left. The way he looked at me, like a kicked puppy, actually made my heart twinge. He really did look pitiful. I thought about it for a moment. For the sake of his dad, who had always been so good to my mom, and for the fact that this apartment was technically bought with his dad's money. Fine. I'd let him stay. That's right. I wasn't helping him. I was helping his father. I said, "I guess I'll do you a huge favor and let you crash here for now. Your dad called me. He and my mom are flying back in 3 days. Once they're back, we'll clear things up. They'll explain that we're not actually related. This, brothers, scandal will be over soon. As for those love letters..." "You saw the letters?" Austin suddenly cut in. I unlocked my phone, scrolled through the trending tags. "Yeah, I saw. Says you've been writing love letters to random boys since high school." Damn bastard. So he'd been a hopeless flirt since forever. I really thought I was his first, that I was special. But apparently, I was just one in a long line. Anger bubbled up inside me. My body flushed with heat. I wanted to scream, to hit something. And then, he wrapped his arms around me from behind, pulling me into his chest. His fingers reached around to tap my phone, opening one of the trending photos. There they were, all the letters. I turned to look at him, shocked, eyes locking with his. Those were all for me? Austin looked wronged, his voice soft. Yeah. But you never accepted them. You threw them out. I guess someone picked them out of the trash and posted them online. Hold on a second. He wrote me all those love letters back in high school? But I didn't even know him in high school. Back then, I was addicted to gaming, but I sucked. So I made a bunch of alt accounts, pretended to be a girl, and sweet-talked skilled players into carrying me through ranks. Austin Badgley was my high school online boyfriend. You're remembering now, aren't you, wife? He murmured, lips brushing my ear. It tickled. I squirmed, but he locked me in place. How did you figure out that girl online was me? He scoffed, lips curving. Please. What girl picks names like Granny on Fire 98? And I've always been smart. Finding you wasn't exactly rocket science. As he spoke, he leaned in even closer. I raised my arms instinctively, using them as a shield between us. Then why did you treat me like crap back then? I was just a singer. What did I ever do to you? You kept stealing my roles, my endorsement deals, crashing my events. Why? I genuinely didn't get it. We'd been full-on enemies for years, mortal rivals. Wherever I went, he showed up. If I had a business dinner, he was there first. He drove away half my sponsors just by existing. He said calmly, to get your attention. I've liked you since forever. What? That was a confession, wasn't it? Was I supposed to say something? No, wait, why was he pulling at my pants? I did not expect Austin Badgley to have that much stamina, or be in such a good mood. He didn't stop. My entire body was aching. Even my toes were sore. Wasn't he broke? Shouldn't he be looking for investors or something instead of this? I was about to collapse. Bang! The bedroom door flew open. No way! Did a fan seriously just break into my house? I turned to nudge Austin, to tell him to hide. But all I found was empty sheets. He was gone? I groaned and forced my eyes open, lifting the blanket just in time to hear, "Well, surprise, son. Miss me?" The blanket slipped from my fingers. Standing there in full golden glory, grinning from ear to ear, was my mom. She was dripping in jewelry, practically glowing with joy. Looked like that 2-year honeymoon around the world had gone very well. Well enough to forget she had a son, apparently. Her gaze dropped straight to my neck, and the marks all over it. I quickly yanked the blanket back up, wrapping myself like a burrito. I heard her heels clacking across the floor as she approached the bed. Tisk. What happened to you? Aren't you supposed to be an idol? You got wrecked by an actor? I shot her a pained look. He's 6'3", Mom. He does action movies and period dramas with sword fights. I'm 6 feet 0 inches. It wasn't a fair fight. Just thinking about it pissed me off. I started on top. But one move from Austin and I was pinned. Mom flopped casually onto the bed. I panicked. Under the blanket, I was still stark naked. Thankfully, this time she didn't try to yank the covers off like she used to when waking me up for school. She smiled smugly and said, "Relax. Your uncle and I took care of everything. Look what I brought." A divorce certificate? I looked at her lottery winner face, then at the paper in her hand, confused. I took it, opened it. It was a divorce decree. My mom and Mr. Overbearing billionaire uncle. You divorced him? Why? I never even finished the question. It hit me all at once. If they were divorced, then Austin Badgley and I weren't stepbrothers anymore. Really? Did it have to go this far? We weren't blood related to begin with. Not on the same family register either. Even if we did want to be together, technically, there was nothing stopping us. Mom patted my head. Don't worry. He still loves me to death. We're old. Who cares? But you're young. You and Austin are different. A strange emotion caught in my throat. I felt like crying. I rasped. I'm with a guy. Aren't you mad? You used to nag me to get married, to have kids. I mean, I can't. She cut me off before I could finish. Enough. Your voice is wrecked from all that moaning last night. Stop talking. There's no royal bloodline to continue. I'm heading out. Don't want that one outside to start nagging me. She waved like a queen and strutted out. The moment Mary Cruz stepped out the door, she saw Austin Badgley standing in the hallway, holding a tray of food. Her smile vanished. Her face turned sharp. Austin, after all these years, you finally got what you wanted. My idiot son, right where you wanted him. Austin gave a polite nod. Thanks to your blessing, Andy. If my father ever wronged you, come to me. I'll handle it. Mary Cruz let out a sudden snort of laughter and stepped aside, letting Austin Badgley through the door. She watched him walk into the house and disappear inside, her expression turning contemplative. Austin Badgley wasn't exactly a simple man. For the sake of her foolish son, he'd pulled every trick in the book. He even offered up his own father in the bargain. Her eyes drifted toward the kitchen, where David Badgley, still handsome and fit despite his age, was casually wearing an apron and preparing breakfast. The man was wealthy beyond reason, with more money in his bank account than most could dream of. He was a gift from Austin. A man traded for a man. Not a bad deal. Her son could fall in love all he wanted, as long as she got her own happy ending. Be good. Drink some milk. You overexerted yourself last night. Can you speak like a normal person? I muttered. That voice is, it's very. Before I could finish, Austin's hand slipped around my neck, pulling me close. His lips brushed my ear. Very what? Does it make you want something? Be good, drink up. Then we can go again. My face went up in flames. Austin, what the hell? Talk like a human being, not some seductive demon. Flustered, I jerked back too hard and winced as a sharp pain shot through me. Austin was instantly attentive, slipping his hand under the blanket. Don't move. Let me check. Check what? Shoo, don't be shy. We're practically an old married couple. I've seen everything. I had nothing to say to that. I thought that after both of us had been publicly disgraced, the production would cancel our dual lead drama. But the director surprised us all. I don't mind scandalous actors. I exhaled in relief. The $100 million contract was still valid. Good, because otherwise, I'd have to take Kelvin Cross and Austin Badgley to beg on the street. Kelvin could survive on scraps. Austin? No way. Too high maintenance. What I didn't expect was for the show to become a massive hit. The viewership shattered records. Austin was restored to his throne as Best Actor. His fanbase exploded overnight. I made a full comeback too. My followers returned with a vengeance. Austin started getting busier and busier. He'd vanish for weeks without coming home. I thought, maybe he'd forgotten about me. Even Kelvin was too busy to show up. Just when I was debating whether I should disappear for a few weeks too, Austin came back. The moment he stepped in, he started stripping and dragged me into the bedroom. I tried to ask what was going on. He silenced me with a kiss. I quit the industry, he murmured. From now on, it's just the two of us. Wait, stop kissing. Shh, focus. I'm starting now. We were actually dating now? He was really my husband? I was pretty sure he didn't know the truth, that I was never brain damaged to begin with after that accident. Turns out, if you want a husband, you've got to go get him yourself. I've got a husband now. Bonus chapter, Austin Badgley's POV. My name is Austin Badgley. I'm a second-gen heir, rich beyond reason. I never had to try at anything. Whatever happened, my dad could fix it with money. Then one day I saw him. On cruise. He was so pale and flawless, his face like a porcelain doll. And when he smiled, his eyes sparkled like stars. I wanted to take him home, lock him up, and cuddle him forever. He sang during a school event, and the whole crowd went crazy. So I started investigating him. Turns out he only had a single mom and lived in hardship. He earned money as an online game booster. So I made a few alternate accounts and hired him, pretended to be a girl, and slowly tricked him into being my online boyfriend. But he was too bright. Too noticeable. Everyone liked him. I panicked. I started writing love letters. Thought if I used his username, he'd recognize them. He didn't. He threw them all in the trash. I thought, we can still be online lovers. Then one day, he disappeared. I searched everywhere. It was like the sun had gone out. Later I learned his mom was in debt and had to run away with him. I found her, offered to help, introduced her to my rich, long-haired dad. At first, she thought I was scamming her. Then she met my dad, and never called me a liar again. I finally saw Ion again, at my dad and his mom's wedding. But he looked at me with such hostility. He entered the entertainment industry. I followed. He was too popular. Everyone who saw him fell for him. I was terrified he'd never see me. So I became his enemy. I sabotaged him. I just wanted him to look at me. Then fate helped me. He got into a car accident. Lost his memory. Mistook me for his husband. When he called me that for the first time, I almost laughed. When he crawled into my bed, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. But I was scared he'd regret it later. So I held back. I only kissed him after he fell asleep. Then he pushed things further. Bought outfits. Seduced me relentlessly. Jerry Butler said I was keeping a stiff upper lip, and if I kept holding back, I'd die single. So I snapped. And slept with him. Then he remembered everything. And ran. I wanted to force him to stay, but he grabbed a knife and held it to his own neck. I panicked. I backed off. Then I cut off all his sources of income. Wrote a custom drama. Hired a director. Offered a sky-high payment to cast Ion. He said yes. I thought, maybe we could fall in love for real. But he still avoided me. Jerry said love isn't about hurting the other person. It hit me. So I started hurting myself. Until he finally came back to me. I knew I was destined for love. The monitors screamed as I collapsed in the hallway. Nurses shouted from down the corridor. Online, the scandals exploded. But I didn't care. Because I was the one who leaked them through Jerry, just to make Ion pity me. But the internet was too smart. They found out we were stepbrothers. That wouldn't do. Jerry told me, if you love someone, you can't ruin them. So I called Auntie Mary. Told her everything. She said she'd take care of it. I never thought she'd be so dramatic. To make sure Ion and I weren't brothers anymore, she straight up divorced my dad. And she told me, if I wanted Ion to stay, I had to go harder, be more pitiful, stop holding back. So I handled everything, quit the industry, and ran home to hug my wife. And from now on, Auntie Mary is my mom. We are one big happy family. The end.
Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos.